BlackRock, DTCC, Fidelity. The entire thing was just institutions. It's next level. This industry is going to the next level. And guys, I don't know what else to say. I'm bullish.
You said it. You finally said it.
I'm so bullish.
Andy's bullish. I'm bullish. We're bullish. We're going to the top. We're on 4th floor today. We're going to be on floor 1, and then we're headed straight to the moon, boys.
Dude, that is just...
Cash out before you crash out, brother.
Dude, that to the moon every time gets me going. Wow.
I think I was sober when I said that.
Welcome back. Rollup TV, Wednesday, December 3rd. Counting down the days of Christmas here on the Rollup, boys and girls. Well, I don't know what Santa's getting you, but I'm looking for some new Lululemon pants, maybe some Vuori shirts.
Sound like a 16-year-old girl.
Brother, you don't know.
Oh, I want Santa to bring me some Lululemon yoga pants. Maybe Johnny will ask me to homecoming this year.
You don't know about the comfort levels of Lulu. ETH is ripping. Fusaka Day. Happy Fusaka Day to all who celebrate. You guys will appreciate comfort once you've made it, Rob. But until then, I don't expect you to get it. You know, keep wearing those manly, keep living in your patriarchal society. All right. But I'll enjoy my Lulu and my Vuori, the most comfortable pants and shorts I've ever worn in my life. And you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Don't know what to tell you, bud.
Guys, we've got a fun show. We're going to be talking to a project who is a blockchain, but not a blockchain at the same time. We're building beyond blockchain. This happened in the bull run of 2017. It also happened in 2021. We started thinking about blockchains as hyper ledgers. And remember the whole, what was IOTA? Remember IOTA?
DAG. It was
a DAG, a dynamic acyclic graph.
No, it was like a decentralized.
No, a DAG is a dynamic acyclic graph.
Is that what it means?
It's like a 3D blockchain. We're not talking about linear 2D blockchains anymore.
No, we're not. All right, so yeah, guys, we have one guest today. Quick fun guest with Grigor, and then we've got tons of videos and reactions and vibes and news to cover. So yeah,
acyclic graph.
It's right. It's what you said is right?
I got the D wrong. It's a directed acyclic graph.
Got it.
We're gonna find out. Pi Squared is our first guest. These guys are really smart. I'm curious. I want to know because we've had lots of conversations about finance. Every green day we talk about finance. Every red day we talk about tech.
I just think there's so many things to cover today.
We're in the middle of it all.
Yeah, there's so many things to cover today. So let's get Grigor up and let's get started. Grigor, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me. Great show.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Hell yeah, brother.
Thank you for being here.
Nice hat, man.
Yeah, it's a great hat, and it's a great day for you to join us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Looking forward.
Where are you calling in from, man?
Chicago.
Chicago. Nice.
Love
Yep.
Chicago. Chicago is a very underrated city. Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza. Great things in Chicago.
Beautiful, beautiful city. We love it.
Beautiful. Well, Pi Squared is not only a very interesting name. I have a math degree. It's somewhere back there. I don't use it very often, but I do really enjoy the idea behind Pi Squared. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about, because we have a lot of blockchain projects on this show. We talk a lot about stable coins and the like, but Pi Squared isn't exactly a blockchain. Maybe you could
Yes.
explain a little bit more.
Okay, let me start by telling you and everybody else that more than 90% of all the transactions that happen on blockchains today, all blockchains, they do not need a total order. They do not need a blockchain, in fact. But yet, all of them, they pay the price of a total order. So we try to optimize the common case. So how can we make those 90% plus of the transactions super fast? And only those that really require a total order to worry about implementing a total
And
order.
when you say total order, you mean like they go in sequence, like they're ordered?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Nakamoto proposed the idea of a chain, which is a total order on all the transactions in order to avoid double spending, right? Because if you totally order everything, then you cannot double spend because it's either one or the other transaction going first. And everybody took that as an axiom. So it must be a chain. We want smart contracts, we want programming languages. So we had Ethereum and more blockchains, and now all the way to Mega ETH. And all of them implement or optimize the same main idea that we need a total order to avoid double spending. Okay, so that is the axiom of Web3. And this is what we are challenging with Pi Squared.
Okay. So we've had people from Pod Network on before talking about how basically the like ordering doesn't really matter in blockchain if you can do things in a unique fashion. And we kind of got to this concept that like in math, there's like I think it's called like it's like the summative property there's a property that's like 2 + 2 + 1 = 5. Doesn't matter if it's 2 + 1 + 2 or 1 + 2 + 2.
Commutative.
Yes.
But like in blockchain ordering, what's it called?
Commutative.
Exactly.
Commutative property. Okay. But like when it comes to financial transactions, if I put my transaction before you and it's an important transaction, then it does matter because the price of the asset can change, MEV, different things change. And so they had a very unique way of actually solving this problem. Why do you guys take a similar view? Like why does this transaction ordering really not matter?
Because, okay, so you picked a very interesting example where the transaction order really matters in applications like Uniswap or trading platforms. Yes, because every single trade establishes the price of the asset. So then it's important. Okay, but the majority of other transactions, like transfers of assets, if I send you a token and you send the token to Robbie, and different tokens, millions of people sending tokens to each other, digital assets to each other, those do not need a total order,
like payments,
because nothing changes there.
Yeah.
So those are independent, okay? And those are the vast majority of transactions. And our philosophy is the following on Facet. Parallelism, and you mentioned that 5 + 2, 2 + 2 + 1, that's a commutativity operation. Actually, there is a notion of commutativity also in our protocol. Exactly, they're saying that transactions can be commuted. Right, so if you have that property, which applies to 90% plus of the transactions, then you can settle verifiably, decentralized, everything, all the good properties at the speed of the internet. And if there are applications where you need a total order, like Uniswap, then those applications should be in charge of their total order. You see, one way to get a total order in each application, imagine you have thousands of applications. One way to assure total order in each application is to have a global total order on the entire universe. Of course, then you will have a total order in each application, but the cost is huge. The price is too high. So our approach is those applications that require a total order, like Uniswap, maybe Aave, but you see voting, auctions, those don't require a total order. But those applications which require a total order, they should implement their own total order. They should become a sequencer, essentially, on the transactions that are being sent to them.
Right. So we could think about Ethereum as this roll-up settlement network. And yeah, maybe it's true. Like if Uniswap and Unichain require total order, Unichain can total order its Unichain transactions. But when they all go to Ethereum, it can be Uniswap plus Mega ETH plus Starknet, or it can be Starknet plus they can go different orders then when they ultimately settle to Ethereum.
Exactly. Same like we do here, the three of us here. Each of us have our own thoughts in order, but you don't stop thinking because I think now. That would be stupid, right? We all think in parallel, but then we settle things like the words that we say, right? We settle things in a certain order in the end.
Yeah, very true. So how can this, when Pi Squared is building this and thinking a little bit more about how you're going to implement this, because I think it makes a lot of sense in theory, right? But what is the go-to-market strategy? Because a lot of the applications are already existing in this way. A lot of blockchains already exist in their sequential ordering process. How are you thinking about integrating Pi Squared and this technology with some of the existing stack?
Yes. So first of all, we already implemented it. We have the network, which can be played with. If you go to fastset.xyz, you can play with the network.
Nice.
And we also have an application called OmniSet that is essentially a set of smart contracts on major L1s and L2s, which allow you to see on Fastset everything going on these L1s and L2s. Let's take Ethereum as an example. If you go to Ethereum verification.fastset.xyz, you can see everything happening on Ethereum mirrored on the Fastset network. Because we take every single block on Ethereum and we reprove it, we verify it and settle it on Fastset. So we know every single transaction happening on Ethereum. And this allows you to get bridging, messaging for free as an instance of a more general principle, which is that a verifiable settlement of any claim on our network. So we talked about payments, but actually we generalized this concept of payments to claims, where claims are basically anything that comes with a proof that is verifiable is a claim, which can now be settled on the network in parallel with everything else. And for example, what Uniswap does or what Unichain does, all those become claims that are settled on our network. And that means that all the applications on the network would see what happens in all these other chains at the same time. Because having the fastest possible payment system or verifiable settlement network without liquidity would be useless. So we started directly with integrating with all the different chains. Notably with Mega ETH, for example, we have a partnership with Mega ETH where everything happening on Mega ETH at that amazing speed of 10 milliseconds per block is replicated and verified and reproved on the Fastset network. It takes us half a second instead of 10 milliseconds, but we can do all those in parallel. So everything happening on Mega ETH is visible on Fastset. So we have integration with Mega ETH. So you get a network effect now because all the different chains, L1s and L2s that are integrated can also now communicate with each other. So you get like layer 0 plus wormhole plus together.
And what is the proof, the proof verification generation? Is it ZK or is it some other verification service?
Actually, very interesting that you asked this question because Pi Squared comes from proof of proof.
Yes.
Our thesis is that everything that is true should have a mathematical proof. And then once you have a mathematical proof, you can generate a cryptographic proof, a zero-knowledge proof, by checking the mathematical proof with a circuit specialized for mathematics. Okay, so we have a universal approach to verifiable computing. So we can take any computation in any programming language, which has a formal semantics. Formal semantics allows you to get mathematical proofs from program executions and get a ZK proof for it. Okay, so we have, but currently we support EVM and we also support a few other languages for which we have formal semantics. We also get, because of the architecture, this universality in terms of programming languages. Our philosophy is that blockchain should not have a hardwired language. Same like a computer. When you buy a computer, you don't buy a Python computer, right? Or Java computer. You buy a computer and then you install whatever languages you want on it. That's how the Web3 infra should be as well, in our view. And that's how fast it is. You can plug and play different languages by plugging and playing or settling their formal semantics. And now you get correctness and proofs automatically.
Yeah. Grigor, who's using this right now? Are you guys live? Like, is there developers using this? Is there like users? Like, who's using this?
We are in a DevNet stage. We want to launch our testnet by the end of the year and planned our mainnet launch in Q2 next year.
Got it.
So we are very early. So currently we have enthusiasts. We have some games because the network is so fast that you can imagine shooting games where every single action in the game becomes a transaction that is being sent, finalized, and settled in real time. You cannot shoot fast enough, for the transactions to be settled. That's how fast it is.
Yep.
And we have several people implementing and playing with games like that. And Omniset also, which allows you to connect right to different chains, also generate transactions. The Mega ETH, so we have transactions from different applications. But currently, because it's DevNet, right, we don't have real money into the game yet.
Got it.
So, at a high level, I think people might be confused. They might think, oh, this is like a settlement network. You aggregate proofs. Different rollups can settle their proofs to pi squared. Pi squared is this proof of proof settlement network where everyone can settle. And people might think that, or make this assumption that it would make you competitive to Ethereum, because they're either going to settle their proofs on Ethereum or they're going to settle their proofs on pi squared. Is that true? Where is this misconception? Where's the I feel like I'm maybe missing something, because you can maybe do Ethereum and pi squared. Are you competitive to Ethereum?
Yes and no. Yes, you can settle on Ethereum or settle on Facet. And from that perspective, we are competitors. But on the other hand, as I told you, we bring everything that happens on Ethereum, we mirror on Facet, because we are very, big believers in Ethereum. We've been with Ethereum for a long time. We got many guns from Ethereum, and we want Ethereum integration in everything. It's just that Ethereum, cannot sustain very high TPS for transactions. Even if they SZK, they will get 10,000, maybe 20,000 TPS, but that's too little for the future. That is already here, right? With all these AI agents, they need micropayments for microservices. They need millions of TPS. Okay, so you can think of our network as, the fast path for certain activities in Web3, and you can then defer to Ethereum or other blockchains for more complex operations, like we discussed. Right? We need sequencing, where we need interactions between applications, and flash loans, and all these little, not little, but more trickier aspects of computation. But as I said, the 90% plus of operations are just digital asset transfers or voting or auctions, which are inherently parallel, right? So all applications where you can permute operations, like we vote. If we vote, all it matters is that each of us votes before the deadline. But whether you vote before me or I vote before you is completely irrelevant. We just increment a counter, and it doesn't matter in which order we increment the counter in different validators. We get the same number in the end. 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5. Doesn't matter how you do the sum. So that's our thesis, that there are lots of operations in Web3 that can be done super fast at the speed of the internet, no cap on the TPS. And that's how those should be. And wherever we need a total order, then we can use a blockchain.
Yeah.
And with Omniset, we are connected through all the blockchains, so the liquidity can flow. We have a concept which we call TVU, total value unlocked. We don't call it TVL, because once we connect a new chain, we unlock the value of that as well to the network.
Grigor, how do you guys plan to make money?
Well, two different ways. So first, we'll have the token on the network, the set token that will be used for the fees. And we have validators on the network that you need to stake in them. And then we have restaking as well in verifiers. I told you about verifiers of proofs. Those are special services on the network, and we are going to run those. For example, right now we run the KEVM, which is the EVM verifiers for Mega ETH and other chains. So we are going to make money token. We are going to have our own validators. A whole army of validators will be ours, but then also we want to decentralize as much as possible to the community, and we'll have verifiers that verifies different kinds of proofs for different kinds of applications. Actually, the network is completely open-ended. If you look at our architecture, it's a nice, beautiful architecture where the left side of the architecture says that any application can bring any type of claims which can be proved and verified. You see, so that opens basically a market for supply and demand market for verifiers. If you are an EVM verifier, you can offer your services. Okay. If you are a Java verifier, you can offer your services. Rust, RISC-V verifier, offer your services, and then be paid by the applications. And we already have 1,000 nodes that planned to run KEVM, so EVM verifiers. And we do it for Ethereum, we do it for Optimism, we do it for Mega ETH. Ethereum doesn't need to pay, but others will pay for that. So we make money from verification services, and we make money from validation services and the token itself.
Yeah. I'm curious what you think about Ethereum's direction as they're bringing this snarkification. They're trying to make the Ethereum L1 more of a proof verification network by implementing these different opcodes and allowing people to more easily verify ZK proofs at the L1 level. Maybe that would enshrine one of these ZK VMs. I'm curious, as that happens, what is the relationship between proof verification networks, right? Like Ethereum, how do you think this is going to affect Ethereum in the coming months and years?
I think definitely that will be very positive for Ethereum. It will increase the TPS, reduce the gas. But again, let's not forget that it's still a total order, still a blockchain, and you cannot, go above a certain cap on the TPS. I think Ethereum with ZK proofs will reach probably 10,000 or 15,000 TPS, which in my view is too little for it's okay for applications like they require a total order, but for applications that like payments that do not require a total order, it will be too much. But yeah, so I think that will make Ethereum better, and also it will reduce the need for many layer tools, to be honest. But in the end, again, you cannot go with ZK or not. You cannot go above a certain threshold. Think of the following metaphor. Suppose that you have a football field, right? And you have all the players at one end, and they have to run as fast as they can to the other side, right? If you let them run, they will run like in, I don't know, 15 seconds plus minus 1 second, right? Because some of them will be slower than others. But now imagine that you put a door in the middle of the terrain, of the field, and only 1% of the time can go through that door.
Right.
And you ask them all to run through the door. That's what blockchains do. Okay, no matter how good they are, no matter how trained they are, no matter how well you try to sequence them, there will still be congestion at the door. Okay, so why put the congestion when you don't need it, right? So that's our philosophy.
Do you think at any point Ethereum might recognize that a lot of the transactions, especially now, we're returning to fundamentals, payments are becoming more and more prevalent on chain? Do you think Ethereum will ever remove this bottleneck and remove the total ordering from its architecture?
So that's actually one of the biggest, resistance, let's say, that we encountered when we talk to blockchain people, because the blockchain thesis is so much ingrained, right, in their philosophy, that it sounds almost rebellious, right, to say that we don't need a blockchain.
Yeah.
There is this myth or misconception that Web3 and crypto, they are equal to blockchain. How else can you have crypto and Web3 without blockchain, right? So it's very hard to fight against this. So each time we talk to people, even very, very, very strong people, actually Justin Drake, he's an angel in our company and a very good friend, and we often discuss and not necessarily agree, right, on what's the best way to prove and settle things. And many ideas are good and work, and I think we are still so early that we try different things. But I think at this point, the fastset protocol proved initially theoretically and now also practically, because we already reached 250,000 transactions per second without even optimizing much, proved that it is worth considering separating payments from the rest. See, because I'm in this field because I was fascinated by Bitcoin and the Bitcoin paper. As a scientist, I read the paper several times, and that changed my life. I said, this is the future of money. But now that I look back at it, I think it failed us as a payment system.
Really?
It failed us as a payment system. Now we twisted the story. Now we call it a store of value, right? To make it positive. But as a payment system, it failed us, right? Because you cannot use it as a payment system with 20 transactions per second. That you cannot have money rails for the digital future, right? And Web3 and with AI agents and so on. And then blockchains, other blockchains after, took the blockchain philosophy as an axiom. They didn't challenge it. They said, oh, that's great. We need a blockchain and a total order. Let's add programming languages. Let's add a different consensus. But it's still fundamentally the same paradigm. We have a total order. Okay? Until 5 years ago, when the first scientific papers were published, not by me, I cannot take credit for that, a group in Switzerland and then a group from Microsoft, they showed that, wait a minute, we do not need a total order for payments. Okay, and I think even if we just consider these payments, right, and we want to have payments for Web3, for humans and AI agents, uncapped, right? So to bring industry, to bring major players, right, to adapt, to embrace Web3, we need to give them unlimited TPS. We cannot give them 20,000 TPS. Visa, MasterCard have more than that, right? So PayPal and so on, right? We need millions of TPS. We need a paradigm shift. If Web3 and crypto are here to stay, then we need a paradigm shift in how we implement this.
Right? And so these like upcoming payments chains like Tempo and Plasma and these types, are you not excited by these either?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Just
because
copy paste L1s.
Still blockchains.
Yeah.
Still blockchains, and you don't need a blockchain for payments.
No.
I mean, just look at the science in the last 5 years. People don't read, especially in Web3.
Yeah.
I've been in conferences. I gave talks to hundreds of people in front of me. I asked, how many people here heard of this, the consensus number of a cryptocurrency paper?
Yeah.
Or the fast pay paper. And 1 person out of 200.
Really?
It's ridiculous. People don't read.
So you don't think that we need blockchains for payments at all?
No. Nope. Not for payments.
At all?
At all. Nope.
Yeah. So why are we spending so much time building blockchains for payments?
What is that?
Why do we spend so much time building blockchains for payments?
Because we don't read the science.
Okay.
That's right. The science is here. Even prototypes are here.
Yeah.
And they work. Just go and play with facets. See it with your own eyes. It's, it's super fast.
And just to be clear, you do think that blockchains are important for applications that require total ordering, but that's not most transactions.
Exactly. Yes.
So if we move beyond, let's say that payments in this category moves beyond blockchains, what becomes the role of existing chains, existing L1s, L2s in your vision?
So again, all the applications that require a total order and flash loans, those may want to stay on blockchains. Also through Omniset, as I said, we are connected to all of them, so the liquidity is available also here.
Yeah.
Also, I think there will be some inertia. Many stablecoin issuers will prefer to issue on maybe Ethereum initially or on chains that they are familiar with, not on Facet directly. They say this is crazy new thing, but through Omniset we can bring all those. So I would say they will. I think what will happen is there will be an evolution, like in everything else in science, right? So science never sleeps, right? Things evolve. And I think blockchains will also evolve. They are evolving already. Now we have parallelism in blockchains. We didn't have that before. In Monad, in MegaETH, in Sui. They have a lot of parallelism, but as optimizations, not as a basic principle. We took it as the basic principle. Everything is parallel, period. If you need sequentiality, implement it. What they say is that everything is sequential, and we optimize wherever we see that things can be done in parallel. Okay? So we don't do that. We say everything is parallel by default. And blockchains can be now re-architected once a network like Facet is in place, because you can now settle. We are doing that. What we do with MegaETH.
Yeah.
Right? I told you that we can verify everything happening on MegaETH on our network. Now MegaETH can be re-architected based on that. I'm discussing with Ilong, the CEO of MegaETH. He was my student for many years. So we worked together many years. So we are basically, once you verify every single block, meaning that you prove it, you can now declare instant finality on MegaETH. That's one thing. Second thing, as you get an optimistic rollup, also with instant finality, which is what you get with ZK rollups. Also, another important thing is that you do not need a fast network or a network of fast computers anymore in a layer 2 or even a layer 1. All you need is one computer and maybe 2 or 3 for fault tolerance, but not for decentralization, to generate the computational claim that I go from this state to this state with this code, right? Very fast. And then that is being sent for verification to the faster network. And that happens completely in parallel and independently, which are much simpler actually in terms of messages being sent protocol. Okay. And now once those validate, now they can finalize it. Okay, which is like half a second later.
Yep.
So you see, you can implement a blockchain now on one computer because a blockchain becomes a sequencer, a little dictator that says, this is the next block. Okay, trust me. And by the way, this is another interesting phenomenon that there is a correspondence between random numbers and sequences. So if you have a random number, you can generate a sequence. Okay, so you can reduce sequencing to just a VRF, a verifiable random function.
Yep.
And that's it, right? So you can have a VRF, so you can prove to everybody that the sequence was generated fairly. And then you can do the verification on the faster network. So it's in the modular blockchain spirit in some sense, but modularize it even further, right? To separate the execution from the verification as well. Okay.
Yeah. I'm getting curious as to the like decision makers of what is accurate or what is right? Like in a consensus based mechanism in terms of blockchains, you've got these validators, they decide on, the correctness of certain blocks, of certain transactions, etc. In Pi Squared, how does the correctness and the integrity of the network remain intact if there's not this kind of global consensus layer?
Very good question. We still have consensus, but it's called weak consensus. Okay, so blockchains are based on this principle called strong consistency, meaning that at any given moment, all the validators have exactly the same state. If you freeze the universe and look into their state, they have the same state. Strong eventual consistency says that you may have different states temporarily, but when all the transactions are cleared, everybody will have the same state. Strong eventual consistency. Okay, so that gives you a weak consistency or weak consensus protocol in the sense that they will still have the same states for everybody eventually. Okay, and what guarantees that property is this commutativity that I mentioned between transactions. Payments are commutative. Your payment, my payment, they are commutative. There is still a very interesting question that actually many people ask and they don't really get it, and I will try to explain you, is how to avoid double spending without a total global order. Okay, and here it is in one sentence. You have to get quorum for every single claim that you make, for every single transaction that you make. You still have to get quorum, but that quorum will happen independently of other claims and in parallel with them, right? So if you try to double spend, submit two transactions with the same sequence number, okay, some validators will receive one transaction first and then the other second. Others will receive the second first and the other second, okay? But you need quorum in order to settle. And you cannot get quorum, which means 2/3 plus 1, on two conflicting transactions. Because some of them will only consider one, the other will only consider the other one, and reject the other one. So you cannot get quorum on both. In other words, philosophically, blockchains enforce the total order for you, and they will pick one of the two transactions first, and the other will be rejected. While in Facet, you have to prove that you didn't double spend. So it's not the blockchain's, it's not the network's job to pick one for you. You should not cheat. If you cheat, you risk to lock yourself because you cannot get quorum on two transactions and you cannot proceed in a validator unless you give quorum on the transaction. And there are ways to unlock you in case this happens by mistake, but essentially you shouldn't double spend. If you do, you may be punished and you need to pay more to unlock yourself.
And is that
So
just...
that's the catch, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that this is the catch, right? Because you cannot have a free lunch, right? So what's the catch? The catch is that you are responsible for playing the game correctly. If you don't, then you pay more, right? Or locked. So if you have little money in your account, you prefer to let it locked and move to another account. But if you have a lot of money in the account, then you may want to pay. And why you pay? Because now you ask the validators to talk to each other. Talking to each other is expensive, right? That's what blockchains do, right? Then you have to do a blockchain operation for you to unlock you. Okay, that's expensive. So don't do it. That's the thing. So don't double spend because we can catch you.
Okay. So the overemphasis on consensus in traditional networks is almost like a waste of resources. The redundancy property of having to achieve this consensus amongst this distributed set of nodes can be stripped down into like a more kind of like reduced form that allows for basically higher throughput, better network design.
Unlimited throughput. Throughput at the
Unlimited
speed of the
throughput.
internet. Exactly.
Unlimited
Yes.
throughput. All right.
Yes. No cap on the throughput.
No cap.
No cap. on
We
the
reached
throughput.
250,000, but that's just the beginning, right? So there is no cap.
Beautiful.
But
All right, well,
there are limitations, right? Like you need to ZK prove all the transactions, and right now we are limited by the performance of ZK proofs.
No. So you need to have a proof
Right.
for each transaction. For payment, your signature is the proof. Okay. For more complex computations, you need a kind of a proof. For mega ETH, we use a proof based on formal semantics. That's a mathematical proof. And you can generate mathematical proofs faster than ZK proofs. Okay. And actually, they're even more correct. But you can also do ZK proofs. So you have options. What counts as a proof for your particular application? I totally agree with you that ZK technology is still, in the early days. But as it improves, we'll see more and more claims coming with proofs which are ZK. We are open-ended with respect to what counts as a proof of a claim.
I see.
As far as the application considers that proof valid and is verified by the verifiers, which, by the way, can be slashed if they lie. So we also have like a slashing, and we have staking and restaking in our network, because you can stake invalidates and restake in verifiers, like in EigenLayer. So as far as the claim comes with a proof that is verifiable, then the claim will get a signature. Think of it like the signature of God, meaning that this is true. Don't worry about it.
okay.
Right? And now we just have to settle it. And settlement happens in parallel at the speed of the internet. So separation of concerns.
Understood. So, Grigor, you mentioned that testnet is coming by the end of the year. What does the next couple months look like for the Pi Squared team? What does your road to mainnet look like here?
So right now we want to add lots of nodes, lots of validator nodes. We have only 4 validator nodes to prove the concept, but we are going to add more validator nodes. We want to add EVM programmability out of the box from the beginning. You mentioned Uniswap, for example, or a trading platform, right? You can take the code as is, Uniswap as is, and put it in a facet account and do what we do with Mega ETH with just Uniswap. It would be like Unichain, basically in one app, like an app chain, right? So we want to allow people to do that themselves, to bring any EVM program and build their own app chain with that program on Facet. That's what we want to do before testnet. And then 6 months later, for fast forward 6 months to the mainnet, we want to support, to sustain 1 million TPS, 1 million TPS, okay? It may not be demand for 1 million TPS initially, but we have the network to sustain 1 million TPS at launch. And we want to add a few other programming languages. We are thinking at least of Rust and Move as programming languages. But it's important to understand that it's not the same philosophy like in Fluent, where you have multiple VMs all merged together. No, there will be completely different services for different programming languages. You plug and play your language, essentially.
And what's the best way for our community and the community at large to get involved?
You've got quite the fans here in the chat. The fans are really enjoying this.
They're loving it. No cap.
Thank you so much, fans.
And how?
So just go to pi2.network and go to our DevNet from there and play with the network. Do some transactions. See for yourself what it means to have instant finality. It's that thrill. Each time I show it to anybody, go to facet.xyz. When I show it, when I do transaction, they say, I cannot believe it. That's not true. Cannot happen that fast. It's instant.
Shout out to
it happens before you can see it, actually.
Shout out to Cartelian for being active today. You got quite the Pi Squared community here. They've been pretty fired up.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Grigor, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure, man. We'll let you get back to it. I hope that the next couple weeks are busy, but in a good way, and fruitful as you guys go to testnet and launch that into mainnet. And look forward to having you back on closer to mainnet, man.
Thank you so much. I really enjoy your show, guys. Thank you for doing it.
Grigor.
Thank you.
It's a great service to the community.
We appreciate it, man. Speak to you soon, man. Alrighty. Bye. All right. Infinite TPS for the boys.
No cap.
Yes. Yes. Very, very fun conversation to kick off. That was our only guest of the day. I had been waiting to get Grigor on for quite a bit. Yeah, like I said, the chat was just kind of firing. What do you say? What is big shout out to all the builders in the room. Gotta love it, baby. All right, Rob, I think we gotta start ripping through some of the news, some of the activity today. We just tons of different videos, things to tune into.
Oh yeah. Let's
so-
do it. Why don't you go on one of your famous rants while we get set up here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna have a quick look at what's going on in the state of affairs today on good old tradingview.com.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, Bitcoin looks pretty straight, 93 breaking out. I think what we talked about yesterday is going to keep kind of applying with regards to we're going to get a battle between the bulls and the bears at some point here soon enough, probably closer to the 100K level. I mean, it's just insane. The level of performance from the stocks is just, I mean, wow. Really makes you wonder what we've been doing holding crypto this whole time. Not exactly, but like, my goodness. My goodness. Man, it feels good to have taken some profits, man, in the last 3 months. I'll tell you that, though. It feels freaking good. And yeah, I mean, today's a big day for Ethereum with Fusaka, as well as other kind of general updates. So I think we should start with Fusaka, as that was kind of the main thing that we want to cover on the Ethereum side today. So the Fusaka upgrade is going live as of 2100 UTC. So what is that to EST? That's about 3 o'clock. So in about an hour or an hour and a bit, Fusaka will go live for Ethereum. Basically, it enables PeerDAS and a bunch of other upgrades. So yeah, I think the Ethereum Foundation took a page out of the Solana Foundation marketing book. I don't know if you guys saw that, and they put out this really cool video. I think it's worth playing.
Yeah, we're gonna get it loaded up here.
Cool. Why don't we just take a quick break, guys, and we'll come right back for Fusaka. I'll be right back in a sec, guys.
Yeet is built for big moments. The most fun you'll ever have with your crypto. Go to yeet.com to yeet into your next game.
Not your keys, not your coins. From the team that pioneered cold storage, Trezor has just released its new wallet. Guys, if you are still using hot wallets in 2025, 2026, you are missing the entire point. Secure your coins. Get a Trezor at trezor.io.
Go anywhere on chain instantly with Relay.link. Relay is closing in on $10 billion transferred. Go to Relay.link to bridge your assets now.
Money shouldn't wait for Mondays. Following its real upgrade, Polygon is now one of the fastest chains for stablecoin transfers and payments. Visit Polygon Technology to learn more.
Kalshi is the world's largest prediction market. You can trade on anything in all 50 states. Go to kalshi.com to trade today.
Talk to AI like your lawyer or your doctor or your therapist. Yours, private, and here today. Visit near.ai to have a fully private chat experience.
Havachi is fast and private perps trading, secured by ZK with Celestia underneath. Go to hibachi.xyz to start trading today.
Looking for yield that stands out? Infinify gives you just that. Deposit stablecoins and earn far more than the current savings rate. Infinify is a battle-tested, reliable DeFi platform that is ready to go. Head to infinify.xyz.
Halliday is unified crypto payments. Give your users more wherever they are. Go to halliday.xyz to never write a smart contract again.
Open, stable, borderless. Frax is building the next generation of stablecoin infrastructure for the digital finance era. Visit frax.com to learn more today.
Yeet is built for big moments. The most fun you'll ever have with your crypto. Go to yeet.com to yeet into your next game.
Not your keys, not your coins. From the team that pioneered cold storage, Trezor has just released its new wallet. Guys, if you are still using hot wallets in 2025, 2026, you are missing the entire point. Secure your coins. Get a Trezor at trezor.io. All right, let's rip it. Fusaka.
Fusaka's live.
Well, it's about 1 hour away. Let's play the video. This video is pretty based. Thought it was a pretty good video.
We upgrade Ethereum 2 times a year with major changes to how the protocol operates, and the next one upcoming is called Fusaka.
Fusaka.
Is the new upgrade of Ethereum.
It's centered around scaling and making life easier for users of Ethereum.
There we go.
Rollups, L2s, much more scalability. It also brings really exciting upgrades on the other two.
It's our
domains,
boy
so on the
Ansgar.
UX side, on the scale layer one.
Dude, Ansgar was snapping.
Absolutely snapping. Not only do we get Fusaka, also Glamsterdam. There's our boy Ben.
Ben.
The reason it existed. We are not going to sacrifice
Jesse.
decentralization in pursuit of
Scaling.
But securely is the key word.
Ethereum will scale and
Oh.
What a fit.
Particularly
What
the
a
scaling
fit.
benefits both for the L1 as well as for the L2s.
Fusaka really is introducing something.
He looks like the baby in The
fundamentally
Hangover.
new with its PeerDAS technology.
More data means more blobs, which means more capacity for rollups. That data today is the limiting factor when it comes to the things that rollup needs from Ethereum.
And so if we can reduce the constraint of DA, we can reduce the constraint of what can be built on Ethereum.
You get the censorship resistant properties of Ethereum in
Wow.
DA itself.
And then we have these great UX features.
They got some insane quality of video on this.
Unlocks the
Thing looks
use of
great.
secure devices like mobile phones,
which allows mobile users to authenticate themselves using their fingerprint.
Especially passkeys,
Yes.
which are coming to L1 Ethereum.
This is really important because it's going to
Oh, I like how they go through
reduce the friction for
DA,
onboarding users
UX,
to non-custodial wallets.
and then
It's possible for builders to
the third
really
pillar we
think
scale the
about a
L1.
very simple end-to-end user experience.
that don't compromise on security for the end user.
Some of the other Fusaka upgrades like
This is just like Rollup TV Dev Connect, just like all in one video.
going to also enable
We
us
talked to all
increase
these
the
people.
gas limit.
Yep.
Is it's basically increasing the capacity, the number of transactions that can be processed while keeping those really, really low fees.
It's all about trying to create an environment that scales the entire Ethereum ecosystem. Not only is it reliable and it has 100% uptime, but it can ship with velocity.
Our work is not done. And that's his like definitive.
Dude,
of
the
Ethereum.
subtitles of the Ethereum scaling.
Will make
Yeah.
layer 2
Oh, here's
scalable,
Glamsterdam.
and closes this chapter and opens the door to the next chapter that we'll have a lot more of next year, which is scaling the L1.
What comes next? Like, we're just getting started scaling. I'm super excited for Glamsterdam.
There's never been a better moment than right now to get involved.
Boom.
Yes.
Scale
Boom.
the L1, scale the L2s, and simplify the user experience.
Boom.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all
Boom.
about.
I put out this tweet that was like explaining kind of what Fusaka is, and I think it's important. It's basically the main feature is PeerDAS, pure data availability sampling, which basically massively improves scalability for L2s and blobs. You know, what a lot of these alt DA chains had, Celestia, Avail, EigenDA, they basically had data availability sampling baked into the L1. And basically this is coming to Ethereum L1 where now, you know, you basically do this random sampling of data across the network. So each node doesn't have to hold all of the data from all the L2s. It can just basically verify a fraction of it in the right order to prevent kind of like this data withholding attack. Fusaka also adds blob parameter only forks, giving Ethereum the flexibility to increase data capacity between major upgrades, which is basically crucial to what I just mentioned about enabling more scale. It also introduces a new blob fee model, EIP 7918, that keeps pricing fair and stable. So again, you can kind of think of this as like there's like little tweaks and things that need to happen to create a more consistent, reliable pricing model. And so that's what this new blob fee does. For the L1, you get a couple new updates as well. History expiry helps reduce node storage. So instead of these nodes holding all of this historical data, there's this kind of new kind of technical structure that allows them to not have to, but still be able to access it if they need to. Transaction gas caps improve network reliability, meaning that you can't get these massive variance and jitter in terms of the gas spikes. And then MODXP cost fixes makes block validation faster, more predictable. Again, a lot of the upgrades in Fusaka are trying to create more predictability and kind of reliability and consistency in Ethereum. I kind of think of it as like doing an oil change to your car with some slight tweaks that actually change how the engine work over the long term to kind of make it better. The gas limit target also moves up to around 60 million. We had Ansgar from the Ethereum Foundation on at DevConnect. We spoke about how the ambitious target is to 3x the gas limit every year. So they're actually on track for that now. I think next year they're going to try to push it even higher into the hundreds of millions. We'll see how successful that gets with Glamsterdam and others. On the UX side that you guys saw in the video, deterministic proposer look ahead will make pre-confirmations and block production smoother. So it's almost like you can like have the proposer that proposes blocks able to like look ahead and further like look ahead to future blocks and basically make it so that the proposer and then the builder have a easier, more seamless way to create blocks. Again, a lot of this is around making more a better UX for end users, more consistency, more reliability. And then as mentioned in the video, there will be passkey style authentication. Eventually, this means no seed phrases. It means Face ID. It means secure device-based sign-ins. Fusaka is a really technical upgrade, but the core idea is to make Ethereum faster, cheaper, and easier to use while keeping it decentralized and resilient enough to handle the next wave of users and institutions. Again, this is like the first upgrade that we've seen that encapsulates the broader vibe shift from the EF, from the internal Ethereum Foundation, which I think the community really felt and rallied behind during DevConnect Argentina. Glamsterdam is next. I think Ansgar hinted that was going to be middle of 2026. So, guys, Fusaka is live. Congratulations to the team. Congratulations to all the core developers and all of the Ethereum holders. Another big hard fork for Ethereum. You only get, one or two of these each year. I know that they're trying to make it easier to implement these as well, but big congrats, and it's a step in the right direction for the Rollup centric roadmap for scaling the L1 and creating a better UX. So
the best
shout out to all the core devs.
Oh yeah, those guys are cooking. The best analogy for this, someone said way back when they were doing the merge, was this is like fixing an airplane while it's in the air.
Yeah.
Like the technical lift of these hard forks while the network is live to do these things with no downtime is unreal, super impressive. And this is the bread and butter, right? Like I think you're right about the vibe shift from the Ethereum Foundation. I think that is a bullish reversal. But that's something that they're not particularly it's not their specialty, right? This is their specialty. Their specialty is these technical lifts.
Yep.
They've shown a track record of doing these things successfully. And now not only are they doing these technical changes successfully, they're also implementing vibe shifts successfully. Big shout out to the Ethereum Foundation and Ethereum as a whole. Really, really, really great job. And very grateful to be their partners at DevConnect for the Rollup TV live from Argentina. Andy, I got another video I want to show you.
Yeah, what do we got for us?
We got prediction market super cycle.
We got the CNN Kalshi ticker collaboration video.
we're going to show you that right now.
This is pretty insane.
Let's get audio on this. Let's run it back.
One of the best ways we can look at this is the prediction markets, because they give you an indication of where people are putting their money where their mouth is, right? Do they think that the tariffs, that these rebate checks are actually coming? And at this point, no. I mean, Trump tariffs, the tariff stimulus checks are sent to Americans by August of 2026. It's a 25% chance. That's a 1 in 4, so that's not nothing. But the American people right now are craving some relief, and at this point, it doesn't look like it is coming. Although I will note, John Berman, this 25%, it is greater than this 6% who say that tariffs decrease prices, or that 5% back in March, which are just, you never see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. So look, 25% ain't nothing, but at this point, it's low.
Yeah, it's interesting. The prediction markets think that only 1 in 4 chance that will actually happen there. Harry, great.
You know what's funny is it's probably pretty accurate. Like I think that, like, when I ask people in the flesh here in person about it, they don't expect it to be coming anytime soon. When Trump made that announcement, you could feel that it was like kind of like a Hail Mary. Like it was like, oh, it's coming, and like I remember crypto pumped and people were excited about it. But August 2026 to be expected, only 25% chance, dude. That is like 9 months away, 8 months away. You're basically saying that this $2,000 stimmy check isn't going to be coming for at least 8 to 9 months. Look, I'm with the odds here. I'm with the prediction market bettors here. I don't think this thing comes before August 2026, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it did. So it's, Trump can just do it whenever he wants. But this entire setup of Kalshi on the bottom on the ticker, just like how we have it here on Rollup TV, you've got live news anchors, probably for like their first time interacting with prediction markets. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, let's just go back to the beginning of this video really quickly, because this, you can kind of just hear their stream of consciousness as it relates to prediction markets in the first few seconds here.
Yeah.
One of the best ways we can look at this is the prediction markets, because they give you an indication of where people are putting their money where their mouth is, right? Do they think that the tariff...
Like, this is what we've been hearing for so long. People are putting their money where their mouth is, and this is the best indication of what people really do believe is going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy because these guys can come on and speculate about it, but now they have the tool to tap into what the American people are thinking about the news that they are presenting. This hyper financialization or this long degeneracy trade, I think, is just so apparent right now. And like the fact that it's going to be happening on CNN is just, it's insane. What a win for Kalshi.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. All right, one more that we want to show. Leo, let's take it down. I'll put another one up.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. So obviously, prediction market super cycle, they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
Market rated by the FBI.
Operating, we talk about Polymarket as if everybody can use it, but the truth is most folks couldn't.
Got some AI generated 50 Cent music in the back.
US-based users
Successfully predicted the outcome of the presidential election.
What does this actually look like in success?
Yeah, that's crazy.
They went with the 50 Cent soul music.
Early access.
Early access available now, and there's Jake Paul just talking
yeah,
I mean,
finally, right? I mean, finally.
It's crazy.
It's no longer a problem to be a prediction market, to be in the States with this new regulatory change, with the work that these teams, especially Polymarket, put in following Kalshi winning that CFTC case, Polymarket coming out with their app. Man, this rivalry is just insane. So, yeah.
I mean, I think the long tail of prediction markets is cooked. There's no third best. This is a race between the two Goliaths. You've got Polymarket and Kalshi. And now it's going to be interesting because now there's no moat, right? For so long, Kalshi had the US moat and they had a head start. Now Polymarket is launching in the US. Very clearly, it's a prediction market super cycle. Also, Kalshi just raised $1 billion at $11 billion valuation. They announced CNN partnership today. Polymarket's going live in the US. Jake Paul just can't get off our feed.
Jake Paul.
Like, it's incredible because now we're going to see this play out in the free market. They're neck and neck. They have valuations that are really, really similar. And this is going to continue to happen. I expect now that they've raised all of this money, they're going to go and deploy all this. And we're going to be like, this is just the beginning of the prediction market super cycle, in my opinion. Now it's going to be time where they're going to go spend. I mean, I know people that are getting TikTok ads for Kalshi, and now you've got, multiple partnerships that are going live for Polymarket. It's pretty incredible. Winners and losers here. I think Polymarket and Kalshi are both winners.
Yep.
The losers are DraftKings. The losers are FanDuel.
Yeah.
The losers are potentially like the traditional exchanges. We have the guy from Citadel. I forget his name. But he has said basically they are looking at hedging and doing a lot more derivatives trading on prediction markets. And this means that another loser, just like sports bettors, are going to start drawing away from these traditional, more esoteric sports books and going into this generalized prediction market landscape. You're going to see derivatives traders start to draw away from the typical derivatives markets. Could be CME, could be options markets, and go towards prediction markets because of what we heard. You remember Tarek came on the show and he said, part of the reason, I think he was at Citadel or Citibank or someone similar. And one of the reasons why prediction markets was so apparent was that there was exogenous factors that were getting in the way of their trades, and they couldn't take just plain exposure on a particular outcome. And it was like, okay, we have this belief because of all of these factors that we think, for instance, Trump is going to get elected. Right.
Yeah.
But there were other things. And so the only thing that they could do at Citadel was like, okay, well, if we think Trump is going to get elected, we know he's going to want to lower rates. He's going to want to pump the markets. We're going to bet on the S&P, and we're going to take, derivatives. We're probably going to buy calls on the S&P because we think Trump is going to get elected. But it's not like they knew. There could have been some world catastrophic event that caused the market. They could have been right, but still lost money. That's what you want to avoid as a trader, right? You want to be wrong and still make money. And with prediction markets, there are ways to do that.
What a week for the prediction market asset class as a whole. What a week for the market as a whole as well. There's some other things specifically about crypto that I think we can talk about. It's going to take a super quick break, guys. We'll be right back with some a couple more crypto specific headlines for you.
Yeet is built for big moments. The most fun you'll ever have with your crypto. Go to yeet.com to yeet into your next game.
Not your keys, not your coins. From the team that pioneered cold storage, Trezor has just released its new wallet. Guys, if you are still using hot wallets in 2025, 2026, you are missing the entire point. Secure your coins. Get a Trezor at trezor.io.
Go anywhere on chain instantly with Relay.link. Relay is closing in on $10 billion transferred. Go to Relay.link to bridge your assets now.
Money shouldn't wait for Mondays. Following its real upgrade, Polygon is now one of the fastest chains for stablecoin transfers and payments. Visit Polygon Technology to learn more.
Kalshi is the world's largest prediction market. You can trade on anything in all 50 states. Go to kalshi.com to trade today.
Talk to AI like your lawyer or your doctor or your therapist. Yours, private, and here today. Visit near.ai to have a fully private chat experience.
Havachi is fast and private perps trading, secured by ZK with Celestia underneath. Go to havachi.xyz to start trading today.
Looking for yield that stands out? Infinify gives you just that. Deposit stablecoins and earn far more than the current savings rate. Infinify is a battle-tested, reliable DeFi platform that is ready to go. Head to infinify.xyz.
Halliday is unified crypto payments. Give your users more wherever they are. Go to halliday.xyz to never write a smart contract again.
Open, stable, borderless. Frax is building the next generation of stablecoin infrastructure for the digital finance era. Visit frax.com to learn more today.
Yeet is built for big moments. The most fun you'll ever have with your crypto. Go to yeet.com to yeet into your next game.
Not your keys, not your coins. From the team that pioneered cold storage, Trezor has just released its new wallet. Guys, if you are still using hot wallets in 2025, 2026, you are missing the entire point. Secure your coins. Get a Trezor at trezor.io.
Go anywhere on-chain instantly with Relay.link. Relay is closing in on $10 billion transferred. Go to Relay.link to bridge your assets now.
Money shouldn't wait. Many men. Do
you know where that comes from? Like, not the 50 Cent song, obviously, but the AI, like it was 50 Cent in like soul, like soul, like R&B soul.
Okay.
So Joe Rogan has been showing like all of his guests like the power of AI. Like, do you know how good it's gotten? Some of them,
Really?
yes, some of them no. And his example is playing 50 Cent or like gangster rap.
Yeah.
In like 1950 soul, and it's fire.
Wait, what do you mean? Like taking rap songs and then putting them into like a soul track?
Telling ChatGPT, hey, take this Wu-Tang song, and as if it was a 1950 soul R&B singer.
Wow. And then taking the lyrics and the vibe and putting it into a soul. Wow.
Fire. And so, you know, we saw Joe Rogan, Elon, bring up Polymarket. Like, they're very cabaled up with like
Jensen Huang went on Joe Rogan like really recently. Or he's about to, or the episode's about to air.
I don't think that one, we can check, see if that
Yeah,
one's
you're a
come out
big
yet.
Joe Rogan fan, aren't you?
I mean, he's the father of podcasting. Dude's like, he's a legend of the game. We do it for the love of the game. Big
He
fan
is a
of
legend of the game.
Joe Rogan, Kill Tony. These guys are the best in the biz.
I've never seen a Kill Tony, but
It's
I
hilarious.
gotta watch one.
Dude, they're so good.
All right, guys. Shorter episode today, but we'll be back tomorrow with a banger. We have a great lineup tomorrow. Longer stream, and then we'll close out tomorrow and Friday. Big week. We're basically full sprinting to the holidays. We got a ton of stuff in the back end to do. Markets bouncing gives you some breathing room as well. So I think you can put the doomsday away and kind of keep hanging on here. I think there's a pretty good chance that the lows of 2025 are in, but it doesn't really matter. I think the dichotomy and the split between the sentiment of what's going on in the institutional world and the M&A and all of that versus what's happening in the crypto world will just continue. So then you got to kind of choose to be on the side of the long-term vision. You got to choose to be on the side of kind of like what's actually happening in the positive light, not necessarily paying attention to all the nitty gritty in the negative. Choose Rollup TV. Choose to be here with us day in and day out, coming to you live. So yeah, guys.
Shout out to each and every one of you. 20K subscribers on YouTube.
Big milestone for the boys. It's been a long road.
Yeah.
More to come.
Just one of those, overnight successes, 5 years in the making.
Boom. Guys, see you tomorrow. Much love. Peace.